This thing with the drones is getting really, really weird. What the hell are these things and where are they coming from?
This is a video of the Morris County drones with characteristic triangle lights.
I've seen plenty of drones online and in real life. These things are not ordinary drones. And they're not helicopters and they're not airplanes either. Something's going on in New Jersey and beyond. What's in New Jersey? Sensitive military facilities? Oh, and Donald Trump's summer home, Bedminster? Meanwhile, our government, not helpful at all. Actually, they have a very peculiar message. Don't worry about anything, but we have no idea what's going on. Right? And this is what we call, I think, an oxymoron. Emphasis on the moron, okay? The explanations have been contradictory, legalistic, overly formal, designed to confuse, not to inform. Like this guy Kirby at the White House, a bad game show host from the 1960s. Take a look.
We have not been able to, and neither have state or local law enforcement authorities, corroborate any of the reported visual sightings. To the contrary, upon review of available imagery, it appears that many of the reported sightings are actually manned aircraft that are being operated lawfully. The United States Coast Guard is providing support to the state of New Jersey and has confirmed that there is no evidence of any foreign-based involvement from coastal vessels. And importantly, there are no reported or confirmed drone sightings in any restricted airspace.
Okay, he says these are airplanes, regular airplanes with regular people flying them. Why does he need a statement? Why is he reading that? Why so many words when it's a very confined thought? They're being legalistic, they are being weird, and they are trying to, they're hiding something. Keep going.
We have no evidence at this time that the reported drone sightings pose a national security or a public safety threat, or have a foreign nexus.
And why does he say nexus? What does that actually mean, nexus? Nexus, what nexus? Connection? What is going on with the wordsmithing? It's strange. These are the same people who said, oh, we'll get out of Afghanistan, it'll be fine, no problem, not like Vietnam. This is Joe Biden's going to be the nominee. What are you talking about? Of course he's healthy. Of course he's running. And then he's got to put the statement away and actually take questions about the drones. Let's see how he does there.
On the drones, does the U.S. government have any of its own imagery or video of these systems?
I'm not aware that we have U.S. government produced imagery ourselves, but as I said in my opening statement, we have certainly done thorough analysis of the existing imagery.
Like from people's cell phones that we're seeing? Basically, with what you're looking at, how can you credibly tell people that there is no public safety threat, there's no national security threat, that there's no reason to believe that a foreign government is involved?
Because the analysis thus far, in an investigation that is ongoing, has not revealed any national security or malicious intent or criminal activity. But, Jackie, I would remind you, we're at the beginning here, not the end. There's a lot more work to be done, and we're working closely with state and local authorities to gain more information. I would argue that we're moving pretty well here.
I would argue that this guy is like a corrupt salesman who's ripping off people, right? There's something just not trustworthy about the whole damn thing. This is the same administration, remember? They try to cover up the China balloon, right? How did we find out about the China balloon? Because of people, regular people. Like this guy, I believe the guy you're about to see a hell of a lot more than anything we just saw from the White House.
And I walked out on my front porch last night and saw what looked like drone activity to me. I mean, I've seen airplanes cross the sky before, and this wasn't that. So and there were less than a dozen, but more than a half a dozen of those floating around the skies.
Why don't you send the intelligence community, not in a hostile way, you're too used to doing that, try to find out from these people. You're too busy doing coordination amongst yourselves. And I understand you got a lot of coordinating to do. We spend a lot of money on intelligence in this country. We have how many agencies? 18. Most people can name the CIA, and they might stop around there. But You know, we have this too. And this, Coast Guard has intelligence. Bureau of Intelligence and Research, never heard of that one. CIA, okay, I got that one. I knew about that one. National Air and Space Intelligence Center? National Security Agency, somewhat more familiar. Central Security Service, no idea. What else? The National Reconnaissance Office, NRO. And it goes on and on and on like this. And these guys can't figure it out. Something really strange. What do these people do all day long? I know they have something to do, and there are some great people, I presume, who work there, but some others who are, well, they don't have America's best interests at heart. I mean, after all, where did I get that? I got that from Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer, evil Chuck, he said that this intelligence community is very high maintenance. You got to treat them just right, or they will sabotage the American people.
Let me tell you, you take on the intelligence community, they have 6 ways from Sunday at getting back at you. So even for a practical, supposedly hard-nosed businessman, he's being really dumb to do this.
In January 2017, just before the democratically elected President Trump to take office, the intelligence community declared war on a duly elected president. If only they focused on their jobs, right? Keeping America safe and not screwing up. The intelligence community, my goodness gracious, all of those agencies. And right now, they're gaslighting us, right? Like just, it's all in our head. Kind of frustrating. Boy, oh boy, it's great that a change is coming. We got Kash Patel. We've got, who's taking over the CIA? John Ratcliffe. It's going to be awesome. Next. So the FBI was there. The FBI was there on January 6th. We've known actually for a very long time because of our sources, because of people on Capitol Hill, but now it's been made somewhat official in their own confusing way. The Department of Justice and their little internal IG, Inspector General, put out this report. And the report is a bit of a whitewash. Let me see the cover, please. Just take a look at the name of the report. My goodness gracious, it's designed to be confusing. A review of the Federal Bureau of Investigation's handling of its confidential human sources and intelligence collection efforts in the lead up to the January 6, 2021 electoral certification. So narrow, so specific. What about an investigation into the FBI and what happened on January 6th? An investigation into the FBI's conduct on January 6th and the lead up to. An investigation into the involvement. This whole thing is legalistic and designed to protect. They're playing a game. First off, you're going to see this acronym several times in the next couple of moments. CHS stands for Confidential Human Source. It's kind of a term of art, but basically it is a civilian who is providing information to the FBI, and often they are paid for that information. All right? Now let's go into the big confusing report. I'm going to look at it this weekend because you can't just look at the summary. That's the part they want you to read, the part where they really try to get stuff by you. You got to go into the internals, into the mechanics. All right, let's do this. First important point. We found that 26 FBI confidential human sources were in D.C. on January 6th in connection with the events planned for January 6th. We determined that of the 26 confidential human sources who were in D.C. on January 6th, in connection with the events of January 6th, 4 entered the Capitol during the riot. Also, an additional 13 entered the restricted area around the Capitol. Now, I've been talking to people I trust, people I know. They believe that it is a hell of a lot more than 26, and we are not being told the entire truth. But this is a tell. This is important, and it's in the report. This shows me they are designing this thing to hold information from us. They don't want us to know what really happened. And here's the line. So, we found no evidence in the materials we reviewed or the testimony we received showing or suggesting that the FBI had undercover employees in the various protests or at the Capitol on January 6th. The key word here, they had no undercover employees. Employees, that jumped right out at me. There's something weird. They have more people who are there than employees Oh, yes, they do. At the FBI, they commonly use contractors, interns, and volunteers. And they are technically, folks, not employees. I think that's what's going on here. I think we discovered the trick, the ruse. So let's take a look at FBI contractors. The FBI may hire private contractors, often through companies, to perform specialized tasks or services that are not part of the regular staff's responsibilities. Contractors are not classified as federal employees and do not receive the same benefits as employees, although they may still work closely with FBI personnel. All right, this is according to our research, and isn't that something, huh? You see what they did here? They're hiding, they're playing a game. Next, as far as interns go, some interns may work at the FBI through internship programs. These individuals may not always be considered formal employees depending on the structure of the internship program, paid versus unpaid, temporary versus long-term. I know what you're thinking. Usually interns just hang around the office. The FBI has a much more sophisticated program for the interns. And then they have something called the Volunteer Network. Volunteers. In some rare cases, there may be people who volunteer for certain tasks or projects at the FBI. But this is less common. Volunteers are not classified as employees and typically do not receive compensation or benefits. But what are these special tasks? Is it, I don't know, inciting a riot? Is it instigating something? Is it pushing people forward? Are they saying charge? I don't know. They didn't say that. They said employees weren't involved, but what about the rest of these people? Confidential human sources. It's all a game, and a dirty one. And Ray, who's on his way out, he helped light the fire.
The FBI has been working day and night across the country to track down those responsible for the events of January 6th and to hold them accountable. We're chasing down leads. We're reviewing evidence, combing through digital media to identify, investigate, and arrest anyone who broke the law that day. And our greatest partner in this investigation has been the American people themselves, your constituents. Citizens from around the country have sent us more than 270,000 digital media tips. Some have even taken the painful step of turning in their friends or their family members. But with their help, we've identified hundreds of suspects and opened hundreds of investigations in all but one of our 56 field offices.
In other words, a complete and total overreaction. This guy. And then when you started asking him about the FBI's role in all of this, what did he do? He got nervous and weird and shifty and held back and played legalistic games and probably outright lied. There are serious questions about his credibility, and that's okay to say. So they locked up innocent people, like our friend Captain Cuny. Let's see, this guy is fantastic. He didn't hurt anybody, he didn't break anything on January 6th, but they locked him up. How much time did he get in prison after he pled guilty? He was forced to plead guilty. 75 days in prison. So whatever he did could not have been that bad, right? Look at what happened when the FBI showed up at his house.
I got the door. I got the door. Move it. I'll tell you when you bring it in. Yep.
You just had surgery. Nobody in our house.
Where did you have surgery?
Crying baby. How many stormtroopers came in? Did you count? Was it 6? Was it 7? One more time. And that crying baby and that woman right there, the wife, is actually pregnant. Here they come. Remember, he didn't hurt anybody. He didn't break anything. He's a former United States Marine without a criminal record. Yeah, right. Have at it, fellas. You feeling tough right now? 3, 4, 5. Are you crazy? Are you absolutely crazy? Who's gonna pay this man for what happened to his family? And it was bad, really bad. His life turned upside down.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.